The phone sits on the granite kitchen island. It is 6:30 in the morning. You have not yet had your coffee. A single notification blinks on the screen, a digital messenger delivering news that defies the stillness of your house. Your sibling is dead. You feel nothing but a strange clinical density in the air. This is the moment they tell you that you are supposed to fall apart. This is the moment the script calls for a frantic scramble, a desperate drive to the hospital, a public display of fractured grief. But you do not move. You stay exactly where you are, your hand resting on the cool surface of the stone. You are Kimberly Hardin, a leader who builds organizations on the foundations of trust, cultural intelligence, and unyielding authenticity. And right now, in the silence of your own kitchen, that leadership begins with a brutal interrogation of your own reality. The societal machine starts grinding immediately. You can hear the hum of it before the first call even comes in. Friends, acquaintances, strangers who have seen your public profile. They all share a singular, unspoken demand. They want you to make peace. They want you to rush to a bedside that you left years ago for your own survival. They want the reconciliation. They want the hallmark ending where the resentment dissolves in the presence of the reaper. But you refuse to rewrite the history of your own trauma to satisfy the comfort of others. You have spent years building a professional life where you dismantle bias and challenge toxic norms. You teach people that true connection requires courage, not performative rituals. To go to that bedside now, to play the role of the grieving sibling you were never allowed to be, would be a betrayal of every principle you have ever stood for. You stare at the window. The sun is beginning to crest over the trees, casting long, sharp shadows across the yard. This is the geometry of your life now. You have calculated the risks of the past, the boundaries required to keep your sanity, and the high cost of performing for an audience that doesn't understand the work it took to get here. You are a CEO who commands rooms and challenges systems. In the corporate world, you are lauded for your we-centric approach. You are celebrated for fostering environments where people can be their true, authentic selves. But there is a cruel irony here. The world wants your authenticity when it serves their narrative, yet they demand you hide it when your truth involves a boundary that inconveniences them. They want the leader who is open and vulnerable, but only if that vulnerability looks like forgiveness. They want the soft edges. They want the compromise. You push back from the island. The sound of the chair against the hardwood floor is jarringly loud. You walk to the coffee machine. One scoop. Two scoops. The rhythm is mechanical, precise, and entirely your own. You think about the podcasts, the interviews where you spoke about taking back Monday and reclaiming your energy. You discuss the necessity of self-care not as a luxury, but as a survival strategy for the entrepreneur. You spoke about the sustainability of the journey. Today, the journey is not about business strategy or quarterly targets. It is about the sustainability of your own soul. You have set boundaries in the past to keep your heart intact. Those boundaries do not vanish simply because someone has stopped breathing. Death does not erase the complexity of a relationship, nor does it grant an automatic absolution that you never asked for or wanted. The phone buzzes again. It is a text message from a cousin you haven't spoken to in 3 years. Are you coming? The question hangs there, a blunt instrument of expectation. You consider the weight of the word coming. It implies a physical presence, a performance of support, a public testament to a bond that was, at best, fractured and, at worst, harmful. You realize that your refusal to participate is not an act of coldness. It is an act of extreme, radical integrity. By refusing to go, you are honoring the reality of what actually existed between you rather than the romanticized fantasy the world prefers to project onto the dead. You do not type a long, defensive reply. You do not explain yourself to the collective. You maintain the silence. This is the dispassionate, hard-won silence of a woman who knows exactly who she is and who she is not. You move to your office. The monitors are dark, but the space feels familiar, grounded, and safe. This is where you work on cultural intelligence. You help leaders see the systems around them to understand how cultural norms dictate behaviors we never stop to question. Right now, you are applying that same CQ to your own family dynamic. You see the system. You see the pressure to perform grief, the cultural mandate to put aside all grievances at the feet of the departed. You see it for exactly what it is, a social construct designed to minimize discomfort for the living. Most people walk through their lives following these scripts without ever looking at the lines they are reciting. They perform their roles. The loving sibling, the dutiful child, the forgiving mourner, because they are terrified of the judgment that comes with choosing otherwise. They are terrified of the silence. But you have spent your career leaning into the silence. You have built a life that rejects the performance. You have walked away from toxic systems before, and you can walk away from this one too. You pour your coffee. The warmth travels through the ceramic mug and into your hands. This is real. This is your truth. You think about the many entrepreneurs who write to you asking how to handle the pressure of constant external validation. You always tell them the same thing: define your own metrics for success and stick to them, regardless of the noise. Today, you are your own student. You are holding your own boundaries, testing the integrity of the architecture you have built for your life. There is no guilt in this. There is no shame. There is only the firm, unshakable recognition that you have the right to curate your own emotional geography. The world may call you distant. They may whisper that you are hardened, that you are unfeeling, that you are the architect of your own isolation. Let them. Their labels are the tax you pay for being fully, unapologetically yourself. You have spent too many years negotiating your own worth in the marketplace of others' opinions. You are done with that transaction. You open your laptop. The screen glows, illuminating your face. There are emails to answer, strategies to refine, and a company to lead. There is work to do. And in that work, you find a different kind of connection. A connection built on trust, on the truth of who we are, and on the courage to honor our own boundaries. This is the lesson you teach every day, the one you fought for in your own life. You are not a character in someone else's play. You are the author of your own story. The sun is fully up now. The morning light floods the room, turning the dust motes into tiny, suspended diamonds. You take a sip of your coffee. It is still hot. You do not need to perform. You do not need to seek absolution for a truth that was yours to keep. You are the keeper of your own peace, and that is the most powerful leadership position you will ever occupy. You begin to type. You are focused, intentional, and entirely present. You are building, you are creating, and you are standing firm. If you want to understand the mechanics of building a life on your own terms, you know how to find the work that defines these principles. Your own path is waiting for you, and it begins with the courage to claim your silence. You don't have to apologize for the boundaries that kept you alive. You only have to live with the integrity you fought so hard to earn.